Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I see it, Jodi.
Perfect. See, we've got a few people on. We're going to give it just a couple more minutes to allow people to join, and then we'll get started. All right. In the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for joining our Lunch and Learn today. This is the Communications and Marketing Lunch and Learn. We're going to try to follow up Amy Burke's fantastic presentation, but very different subject matter. So the Communications and Marketing team, we're going to start with, sorry, let me get my, we're going to start with team introductions. And so we've got Leslie Collins, who's our Communications and Marketing Manager, and Deb Bonner, who is our Digital Marketing Manager. And then myself, I'm the Chief Communications and Development Officer. And I'll let Leslie and Deb talk about themselves here in a minute. But I've been with Hope for almost 7 years now. Started as a Communications Manager and have kind of grown from there. Very thankful for the opportunity to be able to be a part of such a great organization and to kind of get our communications and marketing team going. Today, we're going to briefly cover a few things, who we are, what we do, and how we support, the branding and how important that is, traditional marketing, digital marketing, processes and strategy, and kind of, you know, there's a lot more we can go into, but we're going to try to keep it as brief as possible just to, you know, give you a brief overview, and then maybe we'll do some follow-up questions later. So to start, as I said, here's our team, myself, Deb, and Leslie. You'll be hearing from Leslie and Deb here in just a minute, but to start with, I'm going to talk about the importance of brand recognition and awareness. So I think a lot of people are familiar with branding because of, for-profit companies. So, there's McDonald's and Burger King's and even higher end, like Nike and Dell and Apple. And you're all very familiar with those brands and what they mean. But for nonprofits, it's a slightly different focus, but a lot of the same principles. So brand awareness is important for nonprofits to better serve our communities, raise more money by engaging potential donors, and establishing trust amongst the communities we serve. Strong brand awareness helps an organization shape the way their messages are received by the communities to ensure they're universally understood across various demographics. So this is super, super crucial with a nonprofit because with our branding and our storytelling, we are essentially communicating to the community what we do and the importance of the work we do. And so when people see the Hope brand, our job is to make sure that that is conveying the message of all of the services we provide and how important those are to the individuals that we serve. So our ultimate goal with that would be to be the go-to organization for a particular service. So obviously at Hope, we have a lot of different programs, but we all deal with individuals with developmental disabilities, intellectual disabilities, autism, all of those things, and providing therapy for those different sections of people. So that means when you are the go-to provider, that means you can grow your organization to provide more services to individuals who need you most. So as we're growing our organization into these different states where we're serving, it's very important that we kind of get our message out there immediately and consistently to make sure that people recognize Hope as the premier provider of services. So to do that, obviously, you need a strong emphasis on outreach and marketing. To me, if you're doing marketing and outreach well, no one knows that you're doing it. You are doing it all behind the scenes. And so, we are a very small but mighty team. Here, 3 people, and we do have an intern as well. Her name is Cassidy. She's here for the summer. But from an outward perspective, nobody knows what we're doing behind the scenes because we're making it look very seamless. So you're getting our content, you're getting our messaging, and it should be a seamless experience for the end user. They shouldn't know that they are being targeted in a way. Obviously, sometimes you do know, like when you get the Facebook advertising and the email blast that we send, because we will say, hey, we're here, our services are here for you. We want you to learn more about that. But in a broader sense, when you have just the overall branding and the logo out there and the messages that we are conveying, it should be a very seamless process for the end user. They should just be kind of taking in the content, and it's kind of sinking into their psychology a little bit. So the importance of brand recognition and awareness, again, is a brand is more than a visual identity. The name, logo, and graphic design used by an organization. That's all what we do here on the team. A brand is a psychological construct held in the minds of all those aware of the branded product, person, organization, or movement. So again, when you see the brand, so when you see the Nike swoosh, for example, and this is a for-profit company, but same principles kind of apply still, you can think immediately, what that is. That's athletic wear. You can think of the swoosh and you immediately think of that tagline, just do it. You probably even think about, Michael Jordan or other athletes who are representing that brand. Brand management is the work of managing these psychological associations. So there is a great deal of psychological, tendencies and tactics that go into this. So when we're working on our messaging and our content, we're trying to determine what the demographics that we're talking to, how they want to be communicated to, what they want to hear, what's most important to them, and how to kind of cut through all the noise of all the other organizations out there so that our services can get to who needs them the most. And across all of our different programs, we actually have a lot of different demographics. So for our autism clinics, for example, a big demographic there would be, parents of preschool age children or toddlers. For our educational services, it's, you know, perhaps parents or caregivers or families of slightly older kiddos who have more of an acute diagnosis of a developmental disability. And then same thing for therapy relief. And then also for ICPN and TAP and all of those things, those are all different demographics. We also deal a lot with, you know, community members through our development work, even government officials and, you know, just the community as a whole. So kind of trying to think of all those different audiences and the messaging that each of them are receiving. In the nonprofit world, this is an organization's global identity and the what and the why. A promise that conveys who you are, what you do, and why that matters. So again, all of that is going into the messaging and the content that we are producing. So here are some examples of nonprofits with strong brand awareness and recognition. So when I read all these out, I think, you know, what you will be able to immediately visualize is maybe their logo, their mission, or you will at least be able to immediately identify exactly what these organizations do. So Habitat for Humanity, St. Jude, Salvation Army, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the YMCA, Girl Scouts of America, Feeding America, American Red Cross. And again, as I say all those, I think you immediately kind of pictured exactly, if not their logo, so like the Red Cross, you immediately see that Red Cross. Girl Scouts, you see that. You also see cookies. You know, Susan G. Komen Foundation, you see the pink ribbon. That's what they are known for. That is what they do. And what all of these are all huge corporations, or sorry, not corporations, they're organizations, and they're nonprofits, which I think some of these are even so big that you kind of forget that they are a nonprofit. But they all have a very strong emphasis on their branding and marketing and the outreach that they're doing. So Hope also has brand standard guidelines. I'm going to walk you through these just very, very quickly. We started these when we rebranded when I started back in 2016. And you know, now we are past 65 years of service. We started in 1957. We're kind of getting slowly to that 70-year mark. But we started this when we passed that 60-year mark of services. So Hope, we have our mission statement here, which is to provide state-of-the-art services in the most inclusive environments to encourage persons to fulfill their individual potential. And then you can see here what this means. So the primary logo for Hope represents the namesake and its values and mission: growth, independence, joy, happiness, hope, welcoming, impactful, diverse, educational, community focused. The icon is an abstract figure that gives a nod to the spirit of the original logo, represents growth, strength, joy, independence. It can read as an individual or a group or even an angelic figure, and embodies many entities coming together as one. And then we even go so far as to say these are our exact colors that we use. We have an exact font that we use. And that all goes into, again, making sure that our logo is recognized and then placing that emphasis on the brand awareness and recognition, which is very, very important for us to continue to grow our organization. Here's our other logo family. So we have Vision for Hope, Hope Clinical Care, Hope Foundation, Hope Learning Academy. You can kind of see here the mission statement for each and what they do. Additionally, when we create new programs, so we just did Hope Behavioral Consulting, we can take what we have here and create new logos for those in-house. Additional Hope divisions. So even with our events, so Style of Hope, we have a special logo for that. And that again ties into our branding, which is again tying all of these things together for the importance of it. Logo usage. So this is everything that we do. There are certain standards to how we use it. It has to be positioned correctly. There's a certain way that you use the colors, and even when it's in black and white. And again, just an example of how you kind of flip that. And then we also have our other brands too. So we have the Autism Program of Illinois that has its own logo, its own brand standard guidelines. Illinois Crisis Prevention Network. We just redid this, I think, about a couple years ago. I really like this logo. It looks super, super fresh and cool. And then Rent Them. When we added that on, we made this logo as well. And again, all of those have their own standard brand standard guidelines as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Leslie, I believe is next.
Thank you, Jodi. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Jodi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. So I actually am the communication and marketing manager here at Hope, which means I help to drive some of the strategy directions that we take with projects that we are approached to collaborate with different teams and programs on. So what goes into that is, one, the need and analyzing that need, and two is outlining our initiatives for whether it be digital and or traditional approaches in marketing while we evaluate those target audiences. We also do a reflection and evaluation once a project launches. So who wants to spend money if you're not going to use that pair of shoes, right? We spend money based on what kind of return on the investment we're going to receive. Everything that we do has to have a metric in which we can actually analyze during the campaign and after a campaign, so we know whether we want to use that particular channel in the future. What is channel in marketing? Channel is a route taken to get a message or a need out to the communities where marketing strategies are being built, those communities obviously being where Hope resides. Whether it be broadcast medias, myself, social and website marketing, being Deb Bonner. I also do a lot of print and direct mail. So these are channels, and then we identify vendors under each of those channels that we can partner with. Jodi, back to you. You're muted.
Thank you. So, I mean, it wouldn't be a Zoom if someone wasn't talking while they were muted, right? So traditional marketing versus digital marketing. So Leslie talked a little bit about traditional, and again, that includes print media, broadcast media, direct mail, which is, flyers, postcards, catalogs, things that you're actually mailing out to people, out of home advertising like movie screens, buses, billboards, banners. The benefits are the proven techniques with high success rates, long-standing initiatives that the public already understands, and metrics for measuring success. So it's very easy to kind of measure these. Digital marketing. So as we all are aware, we are in a digital age. Digital marketing, since I've even been here, has grown and changed a lot. And I think Deb will talk about this a little bit more. Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, it all changes daily. The rules change. And so we have to really kind of be up to date every single day on what is happening and how to best utilize those channels for our purposes. So that obviously includes websites, social networking sites, content marketing, banner ads, Google ads. So when you go to a website and you see these ads that, maybe you are online shopping and you stop at target.com, and then you go to like a news site and you see these ads that just kind of follow you around the internet as you go to different places. Those are, all part of this, and it's all part of how we can target people and make sure that we're getting our message out. Google ads, video marketing, email, the benefits, it's very cost efficient. It's way, way more cost efficient than some of the traditional marketing. It's an unprecedented audience reach. I mean, when we put ads out, you can reach thousands and thousands and thousands of people, tens of thousands. Now, are you reaching the right millions? Are we reaching the right people every time? That's where Deb will talk a little bit more about how we target those audiences. Allows direct response from the intended audience and can be easily and quickly adjusted. So once we kind of put things out, we can adjust them on the fly. It's very, very simple for us to do. Okay, Deb, you want to take it away?
All righty, so here is, and yes, this is Deb. Here is a brief overview of our electronic presence online. And you can kind of see from each one of our different brands, we have different things. Everybody has a website. Hope has a couple of different Facebook pages. We have Instagram, LinkedIn, a YouTube channel. So what we're really trying to do, because each social media platform has a different intended target and intended use, and it is becoming more and more defined each day. It used to be that you could create one post and just slap it out there across the board and hit everything, but there are different algorithms now that are prioritizing what information rises to the top and what just kind of sits there and treads water for a while. So you might notice that we don't have Twitter accounts anymore. And That's because the average life expectancy of a tweet is 8 minutes. So unless you're tweeting all of the time, nobody's going to see it. And it's a very male-driven and somewhat toxic environment. So we've decided we're not going to be reaching the people that we really want to reach effectively there. So we're putting our emphasis in other places. So that just kind of gives you an idea. We've got the 5 websites, and then we've got, I think it's about 12 different social media accounts, all of which need a lot of tending to. So our next slide, can I click, or is that a you thing? All right, so what is the purpose of our websites? Click. First is brand awareness. One of the first ways people find out who we are and what we are, and they interact with us, is either through our websites or our social media. So we want to make sure that we have a clear description of who Hope is and what services are offered. And then the next thing would be to disseminate information. So we want these very small chunks of information, kind of like, I always refer to it as little like news McNuggets. They're very easy to handle. They're very easy to digest. They're easy to remember. We all hear the whole too long didn't read kind of thing. That's what we're trying to avoid. And then it's for people to contact us. Maybe they're applying for services, or maybe they want to sign up for our newsletter, or maybe they want to apply for a job. So there's different ways that we want people to contact us. So those are the primary purposes of our websites. So how do people find our websites? It's not if you build it, they will come world anymore. There's way too much competition. So we've really focused on what's called search engine optimization. And that's the process of improving the quality and quantity of the website traffic to the website or web page from search engines. This is organic, meaning that we're not paying for it. So there's lots of different ways that we can improve our SEO. A lot of it is behind the scenes and the coding and meta tags and all that stuff that I won't bore you with. But some of the really important things is, if we want to click it again and bring up the next thing, is the content on the website. We need to make our websites interesting and useful to our visitors, give the visitors what they want, cultivate their trust, to make our expertise clear, provide useful content on a regular basis, and use links wisely. What this means is whenever anybody is searching for, say, autism services, Google is king. And so what happens is when somebody goes into Google and they type that, all of these little bots go out through the web and they start scanning through those sites, and they're looking for these keywords. So we want to make sure that when we're putting stuff out there on our websites, that we have the appropriate keywords in there so people can find us. And when we put regular content or useful content on a regular basis, whether it's blogs, whether it's videos, whatever, boom, that's going to help us with our SEO so people can find us. All right, so I know we're running short on time, so we'll kind of bounce ahead a little bit. Purpose of the social media is pretty much the same thing as it is for websites. We want to educate, we want to be a resource, we want to promote events and fundraisers and donation asks and blog posts. The difference between like maybe Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube is that is more consumer-based, whereas LinkedIn, and we have LinkedIn accounts for Therapy Relief, the Autism Clinic, and Hope, and we'll soon have it for TAP. This is more of a B2B kind of approach, even though we're nonprofit. This is where we really establish ourselves as professionals. It's great for recruitment, getting out training opportunities for professionals, maybe finding sponsors, and sharing relevant third-party information. So where do we get content? That would be you. We are not experts in ABA therapy. We're not experts in autism. We are experts in marketing and creating graphics and videos and things like that. So we really rely on site leads and directors and all of you to tell us what's important to your clients, so we can work with you to create the appropriate blogs, to create the appropriate graphics, to create the appropriate videos. So we're constantly pushing out that really important information. Video is king. We're going to do a big push on that, about how important video is. I think the most important statistic on this slide is 40% of Gen Z users or Gen Z use TikTok as a search engine as opposed to Google. So we're getting a TikTok account up and going. It's kind of been a process, but that TikTok will be coming to a video screen near you. And all platforms prioritize video in their algorithms, meaning that that is content that's going to rise to the top. And then our next slide is other content is going to be things like compelling images. So that's going to be special events like graduation and prom, you know, those things that tug on your heartstring. Some of the other things are images that make people laugh. So if we've got cute pictures of a kid with paint all over them or the staff being goofy, infographics, those are all great things because they're easy to share and they're easy to understand. Of course, always remember, we can't show faces of clients receiving ABA therapy. We can only use clients if we have waivers, and then avoid using Flash for just a whole variety of reasons. Other things that we want to look at are blog posts, things that can be on the website that we can then link to our social media. This might be recognizing the signs of autism. It could be lists, because everybody loves a list. It could be preparing for the holidays or weather or social stories, just anything that's going to be a good resource. And Ask the Expert is a really good opportunity to find out what's important to our potential clients and tell them that, yes, we can help you. So these are all really great things to have on social media and the website as well. This is our digital advertising: Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and email marketing. It's getting trickier to do the digital advertising, and that they are realizing that they are way cheaper than everybody else. So they're trying to catch up. So even though it is still the cheapest, it is getting more expensive. Google is limiting certain keywords, which impacts us because we're considered a protected audience, because we're looking at kids and we're looking at people with a disability. So SEO becomes even more important because we can't target our ads as well. And we will be shifting to email marketing, because that is a direct way to get information into the inbox. And we can really tell who's opening the emails and what links they're clicking on, and we can get a really good picture. LinkedIn can be great for recruitment, but they're insanely expensive. Next. And then it's a circle. So we start with our website, we make sure we have the good SEO, and then the email marketing, because everything is going to feed to the next one. So we're just constantly tracking those people, because that's the advantage of digital. We can tell everywhere they go because of their clicks. So messaging needs to be consistent and constant.
Yes. Okay. Are we moving into Leslie?
Yep, thank you, Deb. Thank you, Jodi. If you would click again, I'm going to cover the traditional marketing pieces of what we do here for Hope Services. I'll make mine rather quick because I know Jodi still has to wrap things up. Seen here is a digital billboard that I designed. I am the graphic designer for the organization. I do keep the Hope guidelines top of mind. It really is all of our jobs to police the brand and make sure that it's being used accordingly. So here you're going to see a picture that was taken with parental consent and displayed on a digital billboard. In marketing, we call this creating brand awareness. We're not selling a targeted service to a targeted market. We're making people aware of who we are. Along the lines of photos used in marketing Hope, we are very careful with showing faces of minors without guardian consent, and in keeping with the ABA ethics, we refrain from selling services while showing minors' faces. Deb did touch on this a little bit. Thank you. We have access to a library of stock photos and videos at our disposal, and we will use that library often because we're not up against the consents needed, but also it helps to prevent from dating much of our marketing collateral. Next, please. Why traditional? I know Jodi mentioned that sometimes it's just cheaper to take that digital route, but a traditional marketing is a much more familiar and consistent and credible way of marketing. Before there was a digital marketing, traditional was the only path that advertising services would take. Your broadcast media, your out-of-home advertising outlets, anything that you would see when you left your home, your bus benches, your buses, your movie screens, print, newspaper, magazines, etc. These are the items that I will design and write content for on behalf of all Hope programs. So if you're needing those services, please look to our team to help you. While utilizing these marketing channels over time, it's created credibility with these out-of-home vendors. So traditional marketing allows an organization to reach more demographics without needing to target a message. Traditional is any and all that see it while being advertised. Additionally, in traditional marketing, we want to be able to measure the success of funds spent, and even in newspapers and magazines and those out-of-home outlets. The first thing I ask is, what is your reach? The second is, who is your audience? And lastly, do you offer any nonprofit organizational rates? And we try to always leverage ways of saving money. Next, please. Here you will see examples of bus benches and a bus tail that I created for brand awareness here in the Springfield community. In other home markets, we've actually generated advertising to similar channels for a targeted service, i.e. recruitment of staff or recruitment of clients. Next, please. Here we have a digital billboard truck that will be sitting at a select few farmers markets this Sunday in Austin, Texas. And then we'll be traveling a 20-mile radius near the new Hope Austin location. Pretty excited to use this particular channel of marketing. We've never done that before, and I'm very excited to see what those results are going to be and the metrics that we will receive engaging the success of utilizing this particular channel. The bottommost picture is art design for an employment recruitment for Glen Carbon's tech location. And additionally, the traditional side of our marketing team also handles community involvement and chamber memberships. It's through these types of engagements that we can become well known in the Hope markets, where we have academies and clinics while leveraging cost-effective perks like an annual billboard presence for less than other vendors. Next, please. Okay, so I also get to do the really fun part of the marketing promotions, and that's all the swag. Everybody loves swag, and I get to go out there and find the really fun stuff and get our items ordered up with appropriate branding. We also take care of exhibit support, signage at all of our locations, as well as your standard stationery, business cards, folders, and other flyers and brochures and booklets. Next, please. This is you, Jodi.
Okay. So I think I'm going to wrap up things here. Again, we could have talked for a lot longer, and we kind of had to condense a lot of things, but you know, key takeaways for me, which I'll talk about in a minute. But like I said, we are a small but mighty team. There's a lot that goes into what we do. You know, we support each program that Hope has, and we try to support everyone equally. You know, some programs have some different things that we have to do, like the autism clinic and TRH. You know, we do a lot of outreach for them because that's just part of the model of how those work. But it all kind of focuses on our communication strategy, which is what, you know, I'm responsible for setting for the organization. And that overall communication strategy is in line with the organization's strategic plan. So we have a 10-year, 3-year, and yearly goals and objectives. We're actually getting close to that original 10-year strategic plan that we set back in 2016. And so that will be up in a couple of years, and we will kind of start that process over again. But this is all to kind of keep things moving forward and to continue to grow the organization and to, again, reach as many individuals as we can to serve them. You know, I think we've all seen that there's definitely a need out there for our services, and you know, our job is to kind of help get our services to the broader community. Data goes into all of our strategic plans. We do for all programs and divisions. We have a communications and marketing plan for each program and division. I think everyone kind of touched on this a little bit, but you know, you wouldn't maybe think of it, but data is at the forefront of everything we do. We are constantly looking at our reach and if it's being impactful, and you know, that's across traditional and digital marketing. It all kind of feeds into that. We need to see what's working, where we can spend the money that is going to be the most useful, and making sure that, again, we're just getting the best outcomes. We utilize project request forms to thoughtfully and strategically plan all content we produce to ensure it is in line with our strategy. So I'm going to go over that just very quickly. I know we're running out of time here. This is a real quick video that will show you where our project request forms are. I'm sure if you worked with us, you are familiar with these, but if you ever lose the link, they're out here on the intranet. You just fill this out, you say what the priority is, we work with you, and we get things completed. And this is a great way for us to not only make sure that we're getting things done in a timely manner, but that we can prioritize what we need to do. And just to give you guys just a real quick visual here. So this is, I don't even think we've been using this for quite a year, but this is just a real quick snapshot of our project request by program and department. And this is what's all been submitted. So there's other things that we work on daily that aren't submitted through project request forms. But this is just a real quick snapshot of where a lot of that time goes. So to summarize very quickly, we're here, we're at your service. Please do use our expertise to ensure that you're getting an integrated marketing and outreach experience. As I said, and I'll say it again, we're small but mighty, and we have lots of knowledge. We have great ideas. Leslie and Deb are very, very creative. They have great ideas. They're always learning more and trying to make sure, again, that we're at the forefront of what we're doing. So I think we have a lot of talent in-house that we can utilize. Every program, division, and team has a strategic communication plan in place. As I said, we work very diligently to make sure that everyone has that full plan in place. Again, please fill out your project request forms. And sometimes I think people maybe get like a little confused, like, what do I actually go to the communications team for? Anything that falls under marketing, advertising, branding, outreach. If you're just reaching out to the general public and wanting to do some volunteer opportunities, or wanting to have someone volunteer for us, or just working with another community partner, public and media relations, any media requests need to come through me. Internal and external communication. So we work very closely with HR as well on all internal communications, as well as recruitment, social media, digital marketing, and creative services. So anytime anything needs to be creative or created, whether it's a graphic or any kind of content, that's all going to come through us. It should all be produced by our team. Again, make sure that branding is correct and it's in line with our overall communication strategy. And again, that we're just moving towards that one big goal that we all have. And next up will be national recognition, like other organizations that I mentioned at the beginning. So it's my dream that when people hear Hope or see our logo, they immediately know what we do. We are growing at a rapid rate. We're going to continue to grow into a nationwide provider, which I think is great, because I might be biased, but I feel like we do the best. We have the best quality of services. We are in it for the right reasons. We've been around for a long time. So I'm excited to continue to grow with the organization and see where we're going to be in another 3, 5, 10 years. So that was a quick wrap up, but just to finish up, I think, Leslie, did you have a couple things you wanted to mention here?
I did. I mean, you can't sit here and listen to us for 35 minutes, not have an opportunity to win some swag. So if you want to email our team, you will be entered, or just email us and say, hey, enter me into the drawing for some Hope merch. We will put all those names into a bowl and have our intern draw out the winner. Contents of what you will receive is listed here. I'm not going to read that to you, but please do so. You can email us individually or email communicatinghope@hope.us. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone. And again, if you have any questions, let us know. You can email any of us. We're happy to talk more about this. So we'll probably be back for a part 2. But thank you guys so much, and we'll let you go and get on with the rest of your day.
Thanks, Jodi.
Thanks.